Keep your radio dial right here. You're locked into the hottest news station on the planet. Hot 702.5 in FM sound. Blazing today's hip-hop, R&B, and pop music. Keeping your radio on fire. Bringing you the hottest, realest, riskiest talk shows live 24/7 on hot7025fm.com.
What's up, everybody, jokers and Hot 702.5 listeners. Welcome to Laugh Therapy, where we dive deep into the topics that shape our lives and experiences. As you all know, I am your host, Jeaux King, and today we're tackling a universal emotion that everyone encounters at some point, disappointment. Whether it's a missed opportunity, a relationship that didn't work out, or an unmet expectation, disappointment can leave a lasting impact. So in this episode, we'll explore personal stories of disappointment, discuss how to manage expectations, and uncover the lessons learned from these challenging moments. We'll also delve into how disappointment affects our mental health and relationships, and share strategies for building resilience and bouncing back stronger than ever. So join us as we navigate the highs and lows and find out how to turn disappointment into a stepping stone for growth and self-improvement. I'm super excited to get started with you guys today, and as you guys already know, I stay excited to talk to you guys and to connect with you guys weekly. I do think this is going to be a great subject, and to cover it, y'all know I've got my beautiful co-host with me,
JD, aka Sunshine.
Hey,
I did it on time this time.
Look at us. It only took a year. Look at us. It only took a year. So I'm excited. As you guys know, I'm always excited, but I'm super excited to talk about this because I feel like most people don't like talking about their losses, especially publicly. Everybody wants to put on social media the beautiful things and everything that's going right in your life, but nobody wants to talk about the behind the scenes, the real, right? So I think talking about some of our greatest disappointments helps not only remind us of how far we've come, but it helps remind us, of where we are in life, but it helps remind us of how far we've come. So I think it's very important to make sure that we continue to visit, those things to make sure that we are growing. And also how we communicate disappointment to others is important as well. So I'm super excited to get into it. Jess, what would you say is the biggest disappointment you have ever faced in your life?
I had to
We came straight in hot, y'all.
Yeah, we came
in hot.
We came in hot. We didn't even work our way up. God, there's so many.
The biggest one to date.
I would say after meeting you and realizing that you didn't have to have degrees to be who you wanted to be. Lord gee, it's oh my God, it's so frustrating because I had so much pride in it. I still wear the rings, and I do not use either one of these degrees.
I feel like I came in her world like a wrecking ball, y'all. I came in and everything that she had, I feel like she had this plan. Yeah, this plan of what life was supposed to look like. And I was like,
I had this preconceived notion about what success looked like because, my mother who raised me was it was hell-bent. We were going to college whether we wanted to or not. And I was going to go to college because I did want that experience, but I thought that was the path to be successful. And now learning that there are so many different paths to be successful and what does success look like for you, it was so disappointing. Not because I felt like I wasted my time, because I met one of my best friends in my entire life during that time period. I gained a lot of life experiences. I had the time of my life in college twice. But it was disappointing thinking that all those years that this is what I needed to have to be successful, and that's not necessarily true. And I think it just kind of blew my world upside down because I went to school for 6 years and you didn't finish your first semester and you made more than I did.
Yes, I did. Don't look at
I
me
thought
like
you was
that.
on tour with old buddy by the end of the first semester.
That
Y'all,
was the
she didn't live
second
the life. Oh, my bad. She didn't finish her second semester. And she made more money than I did. And I know I didn't, the career that I chose wasn't a career that I was going to be, this millionaire. But I did choose a career and got a master's degree in it. And I should be making somewhere near what you were. Mm-hmm. And you tell yourself, like, oh, I'm doing this for the love of it and because I'm helping people and yada, 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 not realizing, bitch, you ain't getting paid what you supposed to be. Mm-hmm. So there's my soapbox. But yeah, that was probably the biggest disappointment because
I think that's a good, not necessarily a good disappointment, but compared to the disappointments in life that you could have had, that's a good one to
It led
have,
to enlightenment. Mm-hmm. The disappointment led to enlightenment. What about you?
Ooh, I would agree. I've had a lot of disappointments. I would probably say to date, though, the biggest disappointment in my life was either losing my son or my father, my biological father. The biggest disappointment to me in like my entire existence.
What about him was disappointing?
Who? I feel like that's a layered
y'all, we getting
question.
Started. We getting started.
That's a layered question
on this hot ass Thursday.
I love my dad, y'all. I do. My biological father and my stepfather. I love them so much with so much of me. I would say what was most disappointing was I made a lot of excuses for my dad for why he wasn't there. I blamed my mom for a while. And then when I finally did start blaming him, I thought it was because he was going through something, right? Like he's going through all these things. He's fighting to prove himself, right? Because my dad always had, a pretty okay amount of money, or at least made it seem like it. He was paying for other people's stuff. He was, he was a fireman. He was doing all these things for other people. He was helping all of these people, but didn't find the time to be a father to me. Right. So I kept blaming it on all these other things because he was a superhero to so many other people. Right. I was like, he's doing all of this for my grandmother and he's doing all of this for my siblings and he's doing all of this for, whatever. And I kept like waiting my turn. Right. Like eventually he's going to realize like I got his back. Like eventually he's going to realize like I'm the kid that's got his personality. Eventually he's going to realize like I'm the kid. Right. Like all that. And when I finally, and I was big grown, I got a really big disappointment in my life, and I was 29 or 28. And he wasn't there for me. And I was a full grown adult, and I remember feeling like that child all over again that was waiting on him to come and pick me up. Or that child he did pull up just to tell me he wasn't coming to get me. He had something pop up and sorry, I was coming to get you, but I'm not now. Or just all of those floods of emotions started to come back as a full grown adult who wanted my dad to have my back and cover me and let me know that I was safe and I was okay. And he never did. He didn't even call. Yeah, I was in a fucking frenzy in my head. It was all over the news. Everybody knew about it. Even his ex-wife, because she called. Apparently, he was talking to other people about it.
Oh, and he just didn't call you.
It just didn't call me. Damn. Didn't check on me, didn't ask, didn't nothing. I didn't receive anything from my biological father. So I would probably say he himself is one of my biggest disappointments in my life.
Yeah, I just had a light bulb moment. Because that could have been my answer as well with my father, but I don't think I ever was invested in him. Like I learned who my father was very early on, and I never, I wanted it. If I got it, I would have been, yay, rah rah.
I thought my dad was a superhero.
I never thought my dad was a superhero,
and it fucked me up more because he was more active for his other kids, and that's what fucked me. Because I knew you had the capacity, like you had the ability to be a good dad. I'm watching these videos of you coaching my brother's teams and of you at my little sister coaching my baby sister's teams, and I'm watching you, drive them up to the college to go. Like I'm watching you do these things for your other children, and I'm still trying to figure out why I'm the option. How are they the obligation and I'm the option? So yeah, I would probably say that he was my biggest.
And it's crazy that we have opposite experiences with that because you were the oldest of your dads, right? And I was the youngest accident of my dad. So he had already raised grown children. by the time that I came along, and he was buying them cash cars, paying for schools a semester in college, cash, furnishing apartments. Like, he would just tell me all the stuff that he did for them, and I was just like, but you complain about giving my mama child support?
Right. Like, what you, huh?
And that's how I learned.
And then we attach it to ourselves. That's where it comes, because it's just like, so you're cool doing it for other people. It's me. I'm the problem.
It's
that's
me.
We attach it to ourselves, and then
trauma bonding.
Right. Like, what the fuck, bro? Like, I wasn't worth that. I ain't even asking you for $13,000, $11,000, my nigga. I asked you for a Snicker, bro. Like, you couldn't come to my basketball game, you piece of shit. You know,
like my dad got married, and the lady he got married to had a daughter that was a few years younger than me. Went to all her basketball games, bought her a basketball goal.
I don't think they realized the psychological
my
damage
dad never
you caused
came
the rest
to
of your
one
kids.
game.
Yeah,
I played basketball forever. And my mom did so much. She driving across town to go to work, then drive back across town to come to my games. And sometimes the games was across that town, because Houston is fucking large. So my mom was doing it all, and I just saw that. I didn't put my attention in what he wasn't doing, because also I had replacement. I won't say replacement, but I had stand-in dads at the time. So
I had great stand-in dads, and I think the fact that I am ADHD did not. I was so hyper focused on my dad that I didn't appreciate my stand-in dads until I was way older.
Yeah, you was cussing yours out and hitting yours with pots and pans. I'm sorry, Pops.
Bang!
I'm sorry, Pops.
That's not fair. I thought he was hitting my mama. That's not fair. They was arguing. It was the whole thing. Anyway, I was justified in hitting him with that goddamn pot, okay? It was hot and everything. All I remember. And I don't know why I had a random dream about that the other day. I just heard my grandmother screaming.
Maybe you need to apologize.
No, I feel pretty justified with that pot. We've moved past it. I feel pretty justified. But yeah.
We got a comment. Jazzy said, I'd have to say the biggest disappointment was being a daddy's girl. Now that I'm adult, he's no better than my mother. Ooh,
that does have to be disappointing. When you have them on a pedestal and you just like, ooh, like my parents are the best, and then
they really ain't shit, huh?
Yeah.
I know that's gotta be disappointing.
all my parents are the best, and then finding out they're human, like that's a little disappointing. But to have them on a pedestal, like, oh, my parents are the best, and find out they are not just human, but they ain't shit, like they're shitty humans.
I know that's gotta be a bad
damage.
Yeah, damage.
How did you? Oh,
I was gonna ask you.
Oh, go ahead.
How did you cope with a major disappointment?
Well, with that one, I am now no contact with my father. My confidence, I feel like I have the confidence that I was pretending to have back then. I feel like I actually have it now. Yeah. Now that I've gone no contact with my dad. Because I don't have so much stuff rooted in his approval or in like, hey, I'm your daughter, love me. Like, I don't give a fuck no more, sir. You can keep all that. Because I've made it this far without it. Yeah.
Jack.
I've made it this far, and I've been so loved and so celebrated and so everything without yours, and yours was all I wanted. Like, if I had it, I feel like maybe I'd be further, but also the fact that I don't have it, I feel like the universe is like me just being who I am. It's pushed me so much harder and so much further. Because when you finally do look up and go, damn, I do love that girl. Damn, I do want this, that, and the other. I will have made so much of myself and built so much for my kids. Like, my kids don't even know this man. They don't know him as their grandfather. And they're brilliant. And you're going to miss that too, bro. Like, I feel like your consequence is that. Your consequence is your legacy. And I think that that's crazy. I feel like that's the biggest karma that you could ever have, because you worked so hard so that you could have a legacy, and now your legacy doesn't fuck with you, because my siblings don't fuck with him either when it comes to my dad. So you worked so hard so that you could build a legacy just for you to not have nobody to leave it to, because you don't talk to anybody, like, why? So I don't know. I would say for that coping, I just went no contact, because instead of me reaching out, trying to get that love, if you need me, you know where to find me. My number hasn't changed. My email hasn't changed. My Facebook hasn't changed. My Instagram hasn't changed. I've had the same social medias to where if you type in my name, you can find me, bro. My family hasn't changed. You called my mom. You called her for Mother's Day.
Oh,
yeah, it was sweet. It was super sweet. She called me. She was like, "Oh, your father called and asked for, said Happy Mother's Day and asked for pictures of the kids. Why?
Why he ain't call you?
Right. You have my number. Why are you calling my mother for pictures of my children? Your ex-wife of 30 plus years.
That's a little weird. That's a little weird.
So, I'm no contact with him. I recently asked my sister if, because he's also a great storyteller.
You had to get it from somewhere.
Yeah, both of my parents are wonderful storytellers. Yeah. So I wanted to know, had he flipped it yet? Had he flipped this story to our family and made it seem like I was the culprit or I was the villain yet? And they just said, from what they know, he just tells people that he doesn't know why I'm not talking to him, but he does know that I am not talking to him. I said, oh, we don't have the knowledge, but also my dad is so prideful. And if you have that much pride and you know factually in your heart of hearts that you did nothing to deserve being cut off, you did nothing at all to deserve me not talking to you, why would you not call and say, what the fuck is your problem? My dad has the most pride I have ever seen in a human being, bro.
Yeah.
I have seen him justify beating the shit out of a woman that weighed half his weight. With nigga, yes, I did it, and that's what happened. She tried to blah, 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 blah. I've seen this man have all the pride in his chest when he knows that he is right. So if you know for a fact that you are right, you've done nothing wrong, you've done nothing, no reason for me to cut you off, but you ain't called my phone at all. That don't even align with who you are, sir. That doesn't even, anyway. So that's the coping. Was me removing myself from the situation.
Protecting your peace.
Now, peace in my energy when it comes to that. Other times, I'm an avid believer in crying and taking a bath. I don't know why that helps me so much, but it does. Crying in a motherfucking tub can fix so much, and it brings so much revelation for me. I don't know why, but I have some of my best sessions and some of my best just releasing moments in water. If I'm at the beach, if I am in a tub, in the shower, I'll play me some music, I'll sing, I'll cry, I'll get it all out. And then when I get out, I'm just like, okay, so now what? Like, what's the solution? Yeah, like I give myself that amount of time to cry. As long as I can sit in the shower before I get annoyed or my skin starts to feel weird or whatever, as long as I can sit in there, that's how long I can stay sad. And then when I get out this water, I got to figure this out. That's another coping mechanism of mine. I leave it all in the water, and whatever emotions I had, I let it drain down a drain, and that's it. That was that feeling. Now what?
Shaky said that's why I crave the beach.
Yes, it's something about water. I don't know what it is, but I know water transfers energy. But if you put your negative energy in that water and just walk off, you're good. Now, granted, somebody might get eaten by a shark, but that's a conversation for another day.
All right.
Anger at the water. How do you cope with major disappointment, my love?
Is that why you asked me if you wanted me to run you? You wanted to run me a bath last night because you figured.
Yeah, your energy seemed real heavy. I was like, you should cry in a tub.
That's exactly what I did last night.
You did. You got in the tub, and that's why when you're like, "Can you come sit with me?" and I went in there, and you started to cry. I was like, because that's what it. I just let you have it because that's what it does for me. You gonna feel at least a little bit better when you get out of there. I don't know.
Y'all, I be crying, boy.
Cry that shit out.
How do I cope with major disappointment? So if we're talking about the answer to the first question for me in specific, I didn't know how to cope with it at first. It was almost like my world was turned upside down. Like I was in the, in Stranger Things, what they call it, just in a different universe. And my thing was I had to get my bearings. Okay, so these degrees don't really mean as much as I thought they did. What's next? Figure out who you are and what you actually like to do. Mm-hmm. So it has just been a journey. So for me, I had to cope and I had to cope with myself and my thoughts to understand that you about to take another journey, homie. Mm-hmm. Getting those degrees was a journey, but I had to cope with you're gonna have to go on another journey to figure out who you are and what you actually like.
Mm-hmm. And that disappointment actually comes with fear because you don't know where to start.
At all. I had no clue.
Yeah.
I had no clue where to start.
Yeah. And with me being ADHD, you remember me being so frustrated because I was like, do something. And you were like, well, I don't know what to do. It's going to take time. But what I was trying to say in that moment was literally what I was saying, but it wasn't being communicated the same way. You thought I was just like, figure it out, what it is you want to do. What I was saying was try things. Do different shit. You're not going to find what you like just by it coming to you as an idea. Go try something. Go paint. Well, that didn't work. It was fun, but that ain't what I want to do in my life. Okay, go play basketball. Okay, go over here. And I felt like you were sitting with me, sitting at home trying to figure out what you were interested in. And I was like, girl,
you're not gonna figure it out.
Yeah, you ain't gonna figure it out at home.
Yeah.
Go do something. So, yeah, lessons we learned.
What's a recent disappointment that you experienced, and how are you dealing with it?
Ooh, a recent disappointment. Oh, life has been pretty fucking good here. Like, I ain't even gonna hold y'all.
And I just been over here crying.
You have been crying. Yeah. But, life has been pretty fucking lit for me. I ain't even gonna hold y'all. My family's great. My kids are great. I feel like my career trajectory is great. Recently, I started traveling more with comedy. And I am disappointed in the way that female comedians and female entertainers are treated on the road, and how immediately unsafe you can feel. It can take a turn very, very quickly. And I don't like that. I don't like that there aren't certain protections put in place just because you know that the artist that you're dealing with is female. Now, if she doesn't want those things, they should still very much so be offered. But sometimes some of us as females don't even know that we need those things until a situation comes up and we are immediately unsafe, right? I had and this is I'm so glad that I took the person that I took with me on this trip, because he puts my nervous system at ease. He is very calming. We both can just kind of parallel play and do our own things and just still be together, but in our own worlds. And very respectful man. So I was very appreciative that I went on this trip with him, but we still had our mix-ups. They ended up accidentally giving him my room key instead of his own room key. So I'm in my room and I'm changing. I was on the phone with my girlfriend at the time, changing to get into my swimsuit, and he comes walking into the room. I'm naked. I'm ass naked in my room. He comes walking in thinking that it's his room. And then we're both on the spectrum, y'all. So instead of immediately closing the door, he starts to have a conversation with me while I'm naked, which is also a thing. So, and my ass is answering him because we're both on the spectrum. And he's like, what is going on? Why are you in here? And I was like, well, this is my room. And he's like, why did they give me your key? And I was like, and again, still standing here naked, and I'm on the phone with Jess. It was a whole situation. But that could have been an immediately unsafe situation, right? Had it been something else, or someone else. So I that's what I would say has been a little disappointing in pursuing my dream, because I love this job. I love this career. I love my craft. I love the scene. I love so much about this and what it means and what it represents for me. I feel seen. I feel heard. I feel understood. I feel celebrated in doing my work, and that's so important. However, I challenge the entertainment industry as a whole to step up in the way that you protect women that are in this industry, because we deserve to be here and we deserve to take up space. However, there should be better protections in place for us to be able to do this job.
Y'all need a Angel Reese and a Caitlin Clark.
Yeah, like what? I feel like that's me though. Like I feel like in the comedy scene, coming in out of nowhere, like, oh, look at this rookie, right? I'm like, rookie from the left. But yeah, I would probably say that's been.
You need an Angel Reese now.
I do. A most recent disappointment would be to see how they've been treated there. How I dealt with it, I took it head on. I approached it. Anytime that anything happened that made me feel uncomfortable, I made sure that I spoke on it. And I know that some women, and I used to be one of them, that would be a little bit hesitant to say, hey, that kind of made me uncomfortable, or hey, this is not sufficient for me. And I don't mind being the
because
woman
men
who says
will
that.
men will do it in a quick
will complain.
second.
They will cuss you the fuck out. They'll tear this place to bits, and they will still have a job.
And expect
you to fix it immediately. I was talking to Butch the other day, and Butch brought up something. He was like, he's gone to a hotel before for a show, and the hotel tried to pretend like they didn't have his room. Like they were like, oh, we're sold out or whatever. And he was like, you have a room, and you have a room for me because I'm your entertainment. So if you're going to pretend like the rooms are sold out, I mean, I can just go. He was like, I don't have to have a show. That's fine. I've already been, paid. So that's fine. And he's like, and all of a sudden they're able to come up with not only a room, but a really nice one,
They didn't want to give him that nice. That's all it was. They didn't want to give him that nice one.
Because if you'll accept it, they can get paid for that room and give it to somebody else. And then you just figure out what you're going to do, but you're with the entertainment. And he was like, don't accept shit like that. And I didn't. I stood on everything. Granted, they took care of me as far as making sure I had a room and whatnot. But had they tried it, I would have stood on it. Like, no,
they sent you your check yet?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, I would probably say that's been the recent disappointment, and how I dealt with it is I stood up for myself. I stood in that gap, and I also had a friend with me that made me feel safe and gave me the confidence to do that because I knew someone was going to have my back and also hold me accountable if I was wrong.
Ooh, a recent disappointment for me, learning that I'm going to have to leave certain people behind in this healing journey. And yes, Mom, I'm okay. I tell y'all if I was going to start crying. I got my sunglasses right here just in case, though. Yeah, just learning that I'm going to have to leave some family members behind. Like, Keely, if you listen, I don't know how the fuck you did this. This shit is difficult. And throughout this whole process, I've learned how and why people just decide not to deal with trauma and pain and hurt, because it's so much that comes with it, and it just don't stop. It's like next week I get hit with another ball. Every week I'm getting hit with something else and something new and somebody new I got to leave alone just because of their mindsets. And I have to set boundaries because I have to protect my peace and my space and my emotional well-being, mental well-being. And the biggest thing that I am having to deal with it is learning and like standing 10 toes down on it is I'm not going to make myself uncomfortable to make somebody else comfortable. Mm-hmm. Whether that's with me being a lesbian, whether that's with me not wanting to be around certain people because of how they treat me or how they talked about me or what they've done to me or how they haven't supported me. I've had to learn that I got to stand 10 toes down on it. And I got to look at some of these other people funny for not having the same morals and values. That's been very hard. So, there's that. Yeah.
Growth doesn't always feel good, y'all.
It
doesn't. I feel like that's something people don't talk about either. Growth does not always feel good.
I'm sure it hurts a crab when they got to grow out their shell. Because their shell don't get bigger. Mm-hmm. They have to grow out of it. I'm sure it hurts. The actual definition of growing muscles is your muscle fibers are ripping. Mm-hmm. And then more muscle fibers grow in between those muscle fibers. So all growth hurts. Just didn't realize I was going to have to leave niggas behind. I thought we was all going to be able to ride this ride together. Niggas didn't put their seatbelts on.
Everybody can't come with you.
I've heard that.
Sometimes the old you can't come with you.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So
sure.
They might still be aligned with the old version of yourself. So it doesn't mean that you got to leave them behind forever. Some people will be left behind forever, but some people will catch up. It just ain't their time.
No, and you know that's the way I've adopted a lot of things.
This season of my life, I'm leaving you in yesterday. Okay.
You know, that's how I look at things a lot now. Is when we say is we don't judge and this is a judgment-free zone, is because I've adapted the mindset that, okay, you might still be in the club or whatever and would rather go buy bottles than pay your rent on time or whatever you decide to do. That's your stage in life that you are in.
It's your business.
Yeah. I'm not going to judge you for that. It might not be the choice that I would make.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Come stay with me, but that's your business.
Yeah, you just in another stage in life. And peace be with you. So that has also helped me cope with a lot of things as well. They just not in that stage in life. So how do you manage expectations to avoid disappointment?
I don't.
You don't expect shit from nobody?
I don't avoid disappointment.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I don't avoid disappointment. People are going to disappoint you. It happens. But I feel like with each disappointment, I learn something new about people. And each time I just have to make a decision on whether or not I'm willing to deal with that person's disappointments. Because everybody, we're human. We going to fuck up.
Yeah.
So, hell, just today, I told you yesterday I ran into Shorty at the place who could definitely catch hands. But somebody that I do trust was standing with her. And I understand that they have their own relationship or whatever, but his energy, maybe I read it wrong, but his energy seemed like it's shifted a bit when I went to go greet him. And the only difference between his energy a couple hours prior and his energy in that moment was the fact that she was present. Now me, because I have respect for this individual and he is a friend, I actually consider him a friend, I brought it to him. Because the energy disappointed me, but I don't know what the root of it was. So I just saw him while we were shooting content, and while another one of our mutual friends was trying to explain what was going on, I interrupted all that shit. I was like, I was like, hey, how you doing? By the way, your energy was, different yesterday. Was it because of Shorty? And it was like, I thought I spoke to you. Like, I thought I said, hey. He was like, you said, hey. I said, hey. I didn't recognize that you were who you were because you hugged me from behind. He was like, but I ain't never switched up my energy on you. I love you. I'll go live right now. I tell everybody, I fuck
straight from the mountaintop.
Your energy's always been pure. Like, nah. I was like, okay, I just wanted to make sure because I'm going to bring it to your front door. That's me. I'm your friend. I consider you a friend. I'm going to bring it to you. And if something disappointed me, I should be able to bring it to you and know that we still gonna be good at the end of it. And we are. He's still my friend. He and I are still cool, but I brought it to him. So I don't avoid disappointment because in that moment, if he would have just straight lied to my face, would I have been disappointed? Yeah, but I would have known more about my friend. I'd have known more about him, who he is, and how to move. So I don't avoid disappointment. I meet it at the door so that I know what I'm dealing with.
Generally, I don't think men like hugs from the back.
Yo, nigga, that's what I had for him. He was facing the other way, and I walked up behind him. It was now that
Could you imagine a 6'2" female?
That's true. In hindsight, I can see why he was looking
you from the back.
Look at me like that.
You didn't give me that detail yesterday when you told me the story.
True.
So,
but yeah, that's what he said. He was like, I said hi. He's like, I didn't recognize you. You came up from behind me. He was like, I was just kind of like. So when he said it, that's why I was like,
you hugged me from the back.
I did come up behind you like you was some female and just put around the front of your chest, my nigga. You right?
My bad, man. I didn't know that.
Because of those type of misunderstandings, I don't avoid disappointment. I come straight to it. If I want an opportunity, same thing. I go straight into it and ask, hey, can I have this opportunity? And if I'm disappointed because it is a no, I'm still excited that I went for the opportunity because now I just found out why it was a no. What can I do to fix it? Well, no, we're not really looking for anybody right now because we're having budget issues or whatever. Am I disappointed because it was a no? Yes. But am I also joyful that the no wasn't because of me or because of my talent? Yes, like that's how you find out shit. So I don't avoid disappointment. I run head first in everything.
You ain't never lied. Yeah, you ain't never lied.
Head first, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm a diver. That's just what I am. If I'm interested in it and I like it and that's what I want to do, I dive head first straight into it. And then, I pick up the pieces of whatever broke off. What about you? How do you manage your expectations so that you can avoid disappointment?
Man,
that sounds a lot like people pleasing to me.
That's what I'm saying. Like I haven't mastered that yet because I'm still being disappointed by people that I shouldn't. Like I knew, like the situation, right? Mm-hmm. That we were talking about yesterday. I knew what the answer was. I didn't want to ask because I knew the answer. And I knew I was going to be disappointed. So disappointed. Did I say
disappointment? That's what you said.
I knew I was going to be disappointed. So I never even wanted to ask because I knew the disappointment was coming.
That makes more sense. Because I think both AZ and I were both like, why don't you just take it? That makes sense.
No, I knew the disappointment was coming. I knew the answer.
I was like, head first. dive. Tell him what you feel.
But like when I think back to like my father, he couldn't disappoint me later on in life because I already knew who he was. I guess I have to just wait for people to show me like who are you really?
But why do you have to wait? Why can't you just put them in positions to make them show you?
What you do? Ham a nigga up and say, what would you do in this situation?
No, like having that conversation. Had you texted whatever it is that you were feeling or whatever in there, it puts them in a position to show you who they are. Because if they just completely avoid
the answer,
well, then you're not avoiding the disappointment.
But I just didn't want to hear the answer.
The standing up part for yourself, because that's the part that's important.
Nah, because I just didn't want to have to let them niggas go. I didn't want to have to do it, but I was just putting it off.
One of them would have came out.
I was just putting it off.
But yeah, that's me. I dive, y'all. I go straight in. I need answers because I love so hard to where, like, I know what my love is worth. I know that when I am really, really for you, I am really, really for you, bro. And nobody can convince you that my love is waver, like it'll waver on you. That's how strongly I can give that shit. So I put people in positions to show me who they are so that I can take a little bit of my shit back if necessary. I ain't even gonna hold you. I ain't even gonna hold you because I love so hard. Exactly. So if you my homie, you my friend, and I know that I ride for you and I'm loyal for you, and I ain't gonna let nobody talk crazy about you. I ain't gonna let nobody run up on you if you got beef with somebody. I ain't gonna let nobody steal from you. I ain't gonna let nobody lie on or to you. Then when it comes back to me that you factually know that somebody was lying on me and nothing was said, like, noted, my nigga. You feel me? Like, I don't know. It's not that I can't hang with you anymore. It's not that I won't talk to you anymore. It's not that we're not cool anymore. It's just noted. That disappointment of I can't trust my name, my career, my reputation around you is now noted, and it's reciprocated. Because I'm not getting ready to stick my neck out for somebody that clearly wouldn't do it for me. We're still cool in every other range of this friendship. Every other ball still works. Every other, screw is still going what it's supposed to do. But as far as that goes, I put people in the position to show me who you are. I will happily take my friends around a whole bunch of people that don't fuck with me and watch how they act. I will happily do it. You say, these my homies, these are my friends, we ride together, cool. Ride with me real quick to this thing. Because especially if it's someplace I still need to go, especially like say it's in the comedy scene, let's go to this show, knowing full well it's gonna be at least 3-4 people that I do not fuck with there. I want to see how you move. I'll do it, and it's not necessarily a test because I'm expecting you to pass it. I'm expecting you to do well. I'm expecting nothing in you to change. I'm not even gonna tell you that I'm beefing with them. I just want to see how you move because they'll tell you we beefing. I don't have beef with anybody. I don't dislike people like that. You give me a reason to dislike you. So I will happily take people that I fuck with and just, I don't know. I put people in positions to see how hard you fuck with me. Because as soon as you do the same thing to me, you take me here and somebody says, how long y'all been friends? Not long, maybe about 3 months. I will watch your back because this person, you can stop right there. We're good. I don't even know you. But thank you so much. Right?
I don't even know your name.
Yeah, I don't even know you. It's cool. I'm gonna go sit with my friend. And now we got it. It's done. We ain't got nothing. So I don't know. I feel like that's how I manage it.
Jazzy said, I don't get my hopes up anymore because all that runs through my mind is I would have never done that to you.
Yes.
So the fact that I'm feeling this disappointment hurts.
Mm-hmm. And I
think that's the worst thing about disappointment is that it hurts, like that. Yeah, and I expect, and I think that's the biggest thing about disappointment.
I was just speaking to a friend about that the other day.
Me
from you,
and I shouldn't. Mm-hmm. But then that just leaves my hopes and everything in the shitter.
I don't think so. I think communicating it is important because people can either rise to the occasion or they can't. And then you have to decide if you're willing to deal with it or not. If you can deal with how high they were able to rise and how low they weren't.
I expect you to be a morally better human being. I don't think that is hard. I expect you to support me just like you support these other motherfuckers that don't need it. Mm-hmm. But that's a whole nother thing. So what have you learned from your disappointments?
Ooh, which disappointment?
Yeah.
I have learned that I am very resilient. I believe that was one of the things I told you was my favorite thing about myself when we first met. When you asked me what's my favorite thing about myself, I was like, I'm resilient as fuck. I've been through the fire. Yeah, I've lost a lot, whether it be people or things. I've seen a lot that I shouldn't have seen at a young age. I experienced a lot that I shouldn't have experienced. And I have learned that people will treat you how you allow them to. That is something disappointment taught me.
That is the truth, though.
Yeah, people will treat you how you allow them to. In adulthood, as a child, disappointment has taught me that as a child I should have been protected more.
You speaking to the choir.
Yeah, disappointment has taught me that knowing myself is the best gift I can give myself. Knowing who I am, what I am, and what I am not is probably one of the things that has helped me through life more than anything else, because no one can put a name or a tag on me that is not mine. I'm quick to tell somebody that doesn't belong to me. That's your experience. That does not belong to me. You know, you can call me what you want, but I'm honest, I'm loyal, I'm kind, and I'm intelligent as fuck.
Until you're hungry.
True, very true. I'm not very kind when I'm hungry. Oh, feed me, shit. Nobody should be hungry. That's a thing too. But yeah, I think disappointment has taught me that I am very resilient, and a lot of the things that I thought I could not survive or I would not be able to do, I did. So it gives me confidence to try new things and to keep going, because I didn't think that I could make it without my grandmother at this age. I didn't think that I would make it after having to bury one of my children. I didn't think I would make it after being a divorced mom and trying to live life as a single mom with 3 kids. I didn't think, like there were so many walls and obstacles that were placed in front of me that I hurdled, and not to toot my own horn, but I hurdled them shits with ease, bro. Like I did it with stride. You feel me? I did it while still cute and still smiling and still loyal to the people who had held me down, without having to cross anybody, without having to shit on anybody. I got myself out of the situations that technically I got myself in. And and yeah, I'm proud of myself. I learned disappointment has taught me that I am resilient as fuck, and I think that's why I continue to dive in head first, because I'm like, I'll get myself out of it if it doesn't work out. I'll be fine.
I challenge all of you guys who are listening to ask yourself this question, and the question is what have you learned from your disappointments? Because it's a really deep question, because you have to, first of all, figure out what your disappointments were in life, and then dissect how they have improved you. How have they made you better? How has it made you grow? Sorry, that was my little soapbox real quick. But if you haven't asked yourself that, do that. But for me, like you went through your whole lifeline and talked about all your different disappointments, what you've learned from your different disappointments.
The major ones, for sure. I hit y'all with at least 4 of them. The lesson was the same. I am resilient, and people will treat you how you allow them to, are the main lessons of it.
I would say from my major disappointment, it has brought me to this journey of learning who I really am. and what I really like, and not just doing things out of necessity and survival. And I think that's why I ultimately called it my biggest disappointment, because it's leading me to my biggest win in life. So I would just say that's what I've learned from my disappointments, is that, yo, you get to learn who you really are now. Like, you have the space and opportunity to do that. I wouldn't have been able to do that stuck at the 9 to 5 dead end hole 9 to 5 job that I was at. I was not feeling fulfilled at all. And through this journey, I've learned that I love to be on the radio. And it's actually really dope. And this is something that I want to pursue. So I'm winning, even though I'm broke right now.
And I think that this was a big growing thing for you, and a growing thing for our relationship as well, because I don't know if you remembered, but it was a contingency. It was a bit of tension when we first started at the radio station. I wasn't disappointed that you found what it is that you love to do. I was disappointed that you found what it is that you wanted to do without leaving the house to find what it is that you wanted to do. This just happened to be something that I wanted to do, and I was like, yeah, we could do it, blah, 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 blah. And she was like, this is what I want to do. So I felt like it wasn't real because she didn't leave the house. I was like, that ain't what you want to do. It's just the first thing that you came outside. I was like, I think I like this. Nah. So I was feeling some type of way, but also I feel like comedy kind of came in to that. I know that I want to be an actress. I know I want to be on screen and off screen, and I want to write. But comedy was just on my bucket list of things to just try it out. And now I'm building an entire career out of it. So who's to say that?
Wait, do you still feel that way?
What?
About me? Because you kind of just skated past that.
When we first started? No, we had that whole conversation. You don't remember us having that whole conversation when we first started?
I didn't ask all of that. I said, you still feel that way?
I don't understand your question. Still feel what way? Maybe I told you I was
about
disappointed
me and
that
radio.
you didn't try it.
That I just like it just because.
Oh, because you hadn't tried anything else? No, but you've tried different things now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you've tried all kinds of different types of
odd
odd jobs now. Yeah, I was like, now I'm like, okay, yeah. Now you can say with confidence, I've tried a bunch of shit, and this is the one that I like. Before then, you were just sitting on the couch next to me and was like, I don't know what I want to be. Girl, go. I was like, what do you mean? You ain't never had a dream? Like, it was crazy.
No, and that was another thing that blew my mind. Is I
was
never
like, no,
was
you
a
go
dreamer.
To college and you get a job, and I was like, bitch, well, who dreams of that? Like, we had so much to work through when we first got together.
I had a lot
because we're on two
through.
completely different sides of the. I am a creator through and through. I want to do all things creativity wise, and she is very smart. She's math, science, education wise. All great information, and we're great together. But yeah, she had a completely different idea of
success.
Success and what that looks like. Success to me looks like freedom.
Oh, for sure.
That's
for
it.
sure.
I just
had
want the
to learn
freedom
that.
to do what I want to do when I want to do it, and to not be hungry and to not be dirty. Yeah, I want to be clean, fed, have a place to stay. That's it. That's it. I just want to be free. I want to be able to do what I want to do when I want to do it. And that's success to me. And to her, it was the 9 to 5 job, this many days a week, and the books and and I was like, ooh, that sounds like stress. I was like, that sounds like
I'm
work.
not going to sit here and hate on it, because I did enjoy it at some point in time in my life, but it just wasn't fulfilling. Like, it was a checklist, and I felt successful after I checked all the boxes, because I checked them motherfuckers quick. I had my master's degree by the time I was 23 going on 24.
Living your best life. And I was like, freedom.
Yeah.
Freedom. That's all I wanted.
And I was like, student loans.
Yeah.
So we got a few comments. Shaky said, I've learned that I have to stay spiritually grounded and am okay with my solitude. Girl, Joe asked me last night, she said, where do you feel safe? And I said, at home. And she was like, oh, back in Texas? I said, no. In the house.
Right here where we live. I was like, oh, well, that's important.
And Jazzy said, disappointment taught me that it's impossible to be a good kid to a bad parent. Jesus. Boom, 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 boom.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh, I think I needed that. I just told y'all about my daddy. I was trying my bestest, y'all, to be not even the favorite, just to be one of. I felt like everybody who knew him knew all of his other kids. And then every time that I was around, he would have to introduce me. Because he didn't see me often. So I felt like, what the fuck? Like I was doing something wrong. And yeah, no, being a good kid to a bad parent is...
That was a word, Jazzy.
That was
a
really
word.
Good.
Thank you for that. Ayana said, disappointment taught me that not everyone thinks like I do. My expectations are not everyone else's expectations. I get disappointed because I think a certain way and they think another way. Mm-hmm. That is exactly what I was talking about. You already know, Ayana, where I'm coming from. So you feel me 1,000%. Ms. Shaky said, literally in the house. Yeah, that's where we be. In the house, because we feel safe there. We got 5 minutes left, so I want to get into this one. How does disappointment affect mental health or your mental health?
I compartmentalize. Like I told you, and I think that's a really good gift to have with my ADHD, being able to compartmentalize and separate emotions from a situation so that I can break it down logically and then go back and dissect it helps me a lot. Because in the past, I just hit people. I would get too frustrated. We would get into an argument and the solution was to beat your fucking face in because you played in it. You played in my face. So now as a full-grown adult and dealing with disappointment, I try to dissect the entire situation and see where my emotions and my logic were misplaced that caused the disappointment. What was the misunderstanding? Because I feel like that's where the disappointment comes from. I understood this was going to happen and that didn't. Or I understood that you cared about me. And because I thought you cared about me, I thought you would show that you cared about me by doing this. And that didn't happen. Right? So now I have to peel back the layers. Do I believe that you don't care about me? Yes or no? Do I believe that you did this intentionally? Yes or no? Do I believe that I went into this and didn't properly communicate what I was expecting and how I was feeling? Yes or no? And I literally peel all of those layers back so that I can realize what's left at the end. How do I feel? And what was the bare bottom part of this situation, that the root of it, if you will, that caused me to feel the way that I feel. That way, when I'm bringing it to whoever disappointed me, because we gonna talk about it. Yeah, you didn't escape it. When I bring it to you, I know that I am standing firmly in this, and this is what I need the answer to. This is what I need addressed, and this is what, So, but how it affects my mental health, I would say it doesn't end that in the same sense that I feel that it affects everybody else's. I feel like disappointment makes other people sad. Disappointment for me makes me confused.
I would say for me, before I started my journey on growth and healing and figuring out who I am, I'd be like, nigga, you got me. It ain't gonna happen again though. Because I was so guarded, I was so protected, and I feel like I'm an open wound now. So all of the people that I do have around me, it's a very tight knit, and I feel like these are the people that should be helping me protect myself while I'm in my cocoon stage to become a butterfly. Mm-hmm. So if someone disappoints me, it almost fucking shatters my world. That's wild. I just told y'all that. But at this point and at this stage, it hurts like 10x because like I'm so bare, I'm so wide open. And
sticking your finger in a bullet wound.
Yeah, or tender. Pouring salt in it. It just hurts so much worse now. But wait till I get out on the other side, though. Yeah. Wait till I get out on the other side. I'm the
opposite. I break it down until I get to the root. And if I get to the root and I'm like, oh, they played it in my face, then I know how to move. Like, yeah, we ain't cool no more. I'm still going to address it, and you're going to know that we ain't cool no more. But, yeah, if I get to the root of it and I'm like, oh, I may have overreacted, or I may not have communicated that, or they may not have felt that way, then I bring it to them, we talk about it, and we can move on. That's disappointment is just confusion for me.
All right, we got like 45 seconds left. Real quick, how do you stay motivated after facing disappointment? I would say for me, just real quick, I would say looking at the lesson that you were supposed to learn in that disappointment.
Say the solution.
Yeah, the lesson you were supposed to learn is how you stay motivated on the other side of that disappointment. Thank you guys so much for listening.
Thank you guys
today.
for tuning in to Laugh Therapy. You guys can catch us every Thursday at 4 p.m. Be sure to follow me at King Me Comedy on all social media platforms. And if you guys have a subject that you would like for us to discuss or any questions that you guys would like to hit us with, you can email us at jking@kingmecomedy.com. Or where can they find you on Instagram, baby love?
JSD Sunshine 4. Y'all can send us a message.
Thank you always for tuning in, and we will see you
Oh,
guys
tell them
next
about your show tonight real quick.
Oh, yes. If you guys happen to be in the Las Vegas area, catch me at Jimmy Kimmel's Comedy Club at 7:30 and 9:30 for comedy and cocktails tonight. See y'all tonight. We finna cut up and have us a good time. Okay, bye.
Whoa, whoa.